Another one. QA engineer interview. What can I expect? Hi guys, we're searching for a QA engineer soon. So now, so now, our QA department tests manual, therefore no automation knowledge is required. What can I expect from a QA engineer? Should he be good in programming like a dev? Should my focus in the interview be his programming skills? The QA engineer is going to get a lot of responsibility to find the proper automation tool and implement it. In the future, he or she should also automate our test cases with the help of other QAs. All right. So that is a great question. So this question is from the other side, actually, right? It is as a hiring manager who does not know anything about automation, what should you be looking for in a QA engineer? Funny enough, back at like many companies ago, right? We were only doing manual testing, and then once we had the need for QA automation, um, we had absolutely no idea, no clue of what to look for. And so I think what ended up happening is because we didn't know, we went with like when we could have gotten started with Selenium a lot earlier, we ended up going with Quick Test Professional, which is now Unified Functional Testing, a product of HP. And being that we didn't have the knowledge about it at the time, I don't know how that would have worked out, but, eventually, like, I was able to switch the company to Selenium and Java and everything like that, which ended up working out for the company and working out for me. But it is you're in a tough position because, pretty much you're at the mercy of what somebody says. My recommendation to you, right, would be you should, get a consultant to help interview for this position you're trying to fill, right? Because with a consultant, you should be able to like they can help you, like they can guide you towards the vetting out the QA engineer, um, while you can ask questions and give details about like specific to your company and what you work on and stuff like that, like what the role would be and stuff like that. But for the technical part, I would probably suggest you getting a consultant to help you through that process, right? But with but now, so the questions of like should he be good in programming? I would say yes, they should be good in programming, but they don't have to be like for me at least. Q engineers do not have to be like the same quality of programmers as a software engineer, unless you're doing like a development engineer and test who some like it just depends on the company, right? As that can be a QA engineer, or they can have like totally different responsibilities and stuff like that. But when I think about QA engineers, I think that they are creative with their code for testing purposes. Like they don't need to be like software developers per se, but they're able to write code that is going to be clean and very focused on testing, right? So I would think about what programming languages do they know, right? What is the like the frameworks that they know, right? Which and that's why you kinda need a consultant because even if they answer those questions, you won't really understand what answers that they're giving. The consultant will be able to better give you some insight on that part, right? But what kind what kind of, um what kind of frameworks, like and then ask, like, "Can I see some of the work that you've done?" Maybe ask them to do some type of mini project, automating something, some type of workflow on your application if it's, not like a private, if it's accessible. Um Ask them what kind of like, have they used, like, the CI/CD pipeline? Those type of questions I would like to know. I would definitely look into like critical thinking skills. I would see. I would also want to know like some of their testing skills, because I believe that a QA engineer should be comprehensive. That they are highly capable of doing manual testing, as well as they are capable of doing automated testing. Um, so I'll see like what some of their test case writing skills. Um, Let me see. I would, and the number one thing, right? The number one thing that I would look for is their critical thinking skills, right? How like giving like get just giving open-ended questions that forces them to explain how they would do something, right? I think a lot of times in like QA interviews that there's people are looking for very specific yes, no, or a canned ISTQB type response. I like to I like to ask like questions that are kind of open and just let the person explain and see how they can communicate, how they can articulate what their thought is, like how they navigate through it, all of that stuff, right? I just like to see that so that so that I can get a better understanding of the person. I personally don't like to have like when people just like give me short quick responses, because I'm not seeing your mindset, how you think. Um, so I like to like I try to give like open ended questions so that we can have a conversation and I can ask you questions about what you're saying, all of that, right? So those are the things that I would look for if I like when I'm hiring for QA engineers. And but like I said, being that you don't know anything about automation, it's gonna be hard for you to navigate through that interview, so I would definitely seek hiring some type of, consultant that would help you on the at least the technical aspect of what a QA engineer should be able to do, and they can vet their answers to you while you would be responsible for, like, the company portion and stuff like that, you know? So, that is my take on that.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.